This, I feel, a lot of people miss when they talk about the international sales of Palantir. Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So this is definitely not my YouTube month. First, I didn't have good internet connection and I completely misestimated my time on my vacation, so I couldn't make videos. And then I came home, it was Palantir earnings. I managed to get 2 videos out, and then I became sick as a dog with some Croatian virus. I don't even know what it is. And finally, after, 4 days of fever, I'm at least well enough to do a video that I really wanted to do. And this video is about why you shouldn't sell your stocks after the Palanatir Q2 earnings. So I felt I really wanted to get this video out because I saw so many negativity around Palantir. And I agree, this quarter was very irritating, and certain things were very irritating. But I don't think that they merit selling the stock. And again, as always, this is only my opinion. This is not investment advice, and I'm completely not qualified to give you any investment advice. So just keep that in mind. And also, I'm a very long-term investor. So this doesn't mean that the next 1 or 2 quarters, Palantir is not going to go down, because I have no control over that. So just keep this in mind. So the predictions that I make in this video and the time frame that I talk about is between 2025 and 2030. And that is the outlook that I have on Palantir. And by the way, I forgot to say this in the beginning of the video. If you like the channel, please make sure you hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to go even further and support the channel, check out the first link in the description box below, which takes you to our Patreon, where you can support the channel for $5 a month, and you get direct access to me, and you get access to all the valuations tables that we use on this channel, so you can, mess around with them yourself. So 3 very misunderstood points that came in that I saw from a lot of Palantir investors after the Q2 earnings. One of them was that the growth in Palantir has stopped. The second one is that the sales team is not selling and the strategy is not working, and this is a major red flag. And that Alex Karp is super arrogant, and the company is super arrogant, and the investors are very nervous that Palantir is going to underperform because they're just so arrogant that they can't work with the market. So I'm going to address these 3 points, which I think are key. So the growth in Palantir has stopped. So they took away, this was one of the biggest issues from the presentation or their press release, is that on every press release, they have an outlook, and they have always said that they expect a 30% plus growth up to 2025. So they have taken this line away, which is a major disappointment, and I agree with that. Then they came in only at 26% year-over-year revenue, and they revised down the future outlook for this year. And the revision down was, I would say, not pretty. It's not the end of the world. I actually have a Palantir valuation model here. So I basically modeled in what they have said. So basically the revenue in Q2, they were forecasting 470 million. They beat that by 3 million. So that was a beat. And here's where the red flag starts. So they're saying in Q3, they're going to have 475. And in Q4, 506 million. And this number shows the year-over-year growth per quarter, right? So you can see that in 2021, they were growing 49%, and then 49%, and then 36%, 34%, 30%. They grew only 26% now. And Q3, they're saying they're going to grow 21%, and Q4, 17%. So this could be a major red flag. It is one, to be honest. It does not look pretty, and there's no way to defend this. So the growth is significantly slowing. And then here's another thing, adjusted operating margin. So this is when you don't take a look at the stock-based compensation. So you can see that in 2021 Q1, they had 34%, and then 30%, and then 29%, 28%. And you can see that this is also very much decreasing. This is the only thing, I heard so much negativity that on the earnings call, they, dodged questions and didn't answer. And I think that some of the YouTubers like Tom Nash and, they have held Palantir for quite a long time. And, they're losing their patience. But I do think that some of these claims were exaggerated because they did actually answer a lot of questions in a very good way. And I didn't notice it on the earnings call, but nobody asked them like why the operating margin drops this much. And I myself am wondering, are they developing a new product? Are they working for the Ukrainian government and, you know, they're not getting paid for it? Because if you look on a year over year compared to 2021, they will drop 53% in the adjusted profit. And that's just bad, right? Okay, then the second thing was that the international sales sucks, and it was so bad that they didn't even put it in the presentation. So here's the thing. I myself don't like the fact that they keep changing this investor presentation, the one that I'm showing to you based on, I don't know what, I guess what numbers look good at the moment. And they basically took out the international sales and international government. But there is one very important thing that Alex Karp mentioned in the earnings call, which is that they don't do Forex pricing. So everything they price in US dollars, and the US dollar has been on a tear. I have to show it to you. So since this quarter, I mean, you can see that this is, for example, compared to the euro. In this quarter alone, the US dollar went up 10%. So if they had their pricing in euro, then it would make it look like that the customers are buying more, and then they could bookkeep it as, you know, value lost in a Forex transaction. But they're not doing that. They're selling in dollars. This is not helping them. And it basically makes their product, even with the inflation and everything, looks 10% more expensive just this quarter. And if you look at when the US dollar was, when this rally really started, which was in May, it's a bit longer than a year ago. Since then, the dollar compared to the euro is up 20 something percent. Yeah, 21%. So that means that for the European customers, Palantir became 21% more expensive, even without them getting any more value or any more service. And I can see how that does not aid the sales. So this, I feel a lot of people miss when they talk about the international sales of Palantir. So here's the one redeeming factor. Alex Karp, when he was asked by analysts, he said he still expects 30% CAGR, and he thinks that the revenue of Palantir is going to be 4.5 billion in 2025. So if you look at my table, I did change it a little bit. Okay, this is the change one. So I just want to show you, if you would say that, okay, their revenue is going to significantly slow to 24%. You know, they're going to have a 25% operating margin, 3% share dilution, a 47% PE. Then in 2025, their stock would be worth $18. So if you, my target, or what I like to invest in, is when I have a 30% per year. So that means that if the stock hits $27, then it's a buy signal for me, even with these low numbers. But personally, I think that they are going to increase 30% per year. And then you see that in 25, it's 4.4 billion. And Corp is counting with 4.5 billion. So he's even counting a little bit better than I am. And if you increase back the growth, then they deserve a slightly higher PE. So this is, again, depending on what is the theory, or, you know, what do you believe in? So if you believe that they're going to re-accelerate, which I'm going to show you some evidence that they might, then even a 10.65 price will give you a 30% per year compounded annual return. So that's a pretty good investment still. So is it a bad investment now? No, but maybe it doesn't, like, if they're not gonna re-accelerate the growth, then maybe it's not going to be 30% per year. Maybe it's only going to be 20% per year. But that's not a bad investment. Now, here's the most misunderstood thing. So many people, including Tom Nash, said that the sales team is not selling and they get so much stock compensation, and you know, they need to be fired, and he needs a new sales team. So he and many others forgot to look at a chart that Palantir provided in the Q4 2021 earnings, and they grew customer number by 80%. This quarter, right? So that means that they have a very rapid growth of customers. So now take a look at this chart. So this is a cohort analysis in the US. So here you can see that the customers that come in 2019, they spend 19 million. But the year after, they're spending 69 million. And the year after, they're spending 102 million. And look, the customers that came in 2020 are spending 6 million, but wait, the next year they're spending 18 million. and so forth and so forth. So you have to use your imagination. So basically, if you're adding a lot of customers, it seems like what Palantir does is that, you know, they start working with the company and then the product proves out and then the company keeps on buying more and more and more. So it's completely unrealistic to expect that Palantir has a big sales team now and they're going to, what the sales team does now, you know, between 2 quarters is going to affect the revenue by any meaningful amount, right? So what you can see here is, let's say if the sales team in 2019, their 2019 production almost like 5 times as much comes 2 years after. So I think that this is what you really have to give time to Palantir and you have to believe in them. And right now Palantir is like a girl that you're dating who was 11 or 12 out of 10. She was super pretty, beautiful dress, makeup, and she went into depression. You live together, she gained a few pounds, and she's wearing her PJs the last 2 weeks, and you're about to say, honey, you know, I think you gained a few pounds, and don't you want to take a shower? And, you know, she's still a 12 out of 12, but she's not taking care of herself. This is the state that Palantir is in. But this quarter doesn't merit a sale. I understand I was not happy for the quarter. It could be better. It could have been better. But it absolutely doesn't warrant a breakup with the stock. And I think this, like on the sales team, is the most misunderstood thing. And I think what the sales team is doing in 2022, you're going to see in 2024 and so forth and so forth. So now the last point is Alex Karp is arrogant and he's ruining the company. So I hear so many people who say that they feel that Alex Karp is a key man risk and he doesn't know what he's doing and, you know, he's blindsided by his arrogance. And I just want to remind you, he has led this company for 18 years. He got this company from nothing to a unicorn that IPO'd. And, you know, a unicorn is called a unicorn because it's statistically impossible. And there's, you know, so few companies that ever become unicorns. And there is a few thousand people on the planet who can, you know, execute and be CEOs of companies and take the company from zero to billions of dollars in revenue. So obviously he has done it in a certain way that has worked for him. So every time they got into trouble, he knows how they handled it. They had a certain culture. And honestly, I would be worried if he was changing this culture. So I think it's foolish for us investors to expect that Alex Karp is going to change. And honestly, if you can't have him and you get very annoyed by him, just sell the stock. Because I would be very worried if, let's say, Elon Musk suddenly would tweet that he completely changes his executive style because he got criticism by Wall Street investors and he's rethinking how he manages people. You know, that would be a major red flag. And I know Alex Karp is not Elon Musk, but still he is in this very small elite club of executives who were able to take, you know, companies to very, very high revenues. And I just give him the benefit of the doubt. And I think we need to let him be Karp and do his thing. And again, if we don't like what he's doing in a few quarters, we can always sell the stock and look for better opportunities. I really want to know from you what you guys think. Are you selling? Have you sold your stock? What is your price target? Are you worried about this quarter? This quarter could have been better. It was a fourth on the way. But I'm going to soon release a video that I did on my old channel about Tesla and the criticism that Tesla got. And I just want you to view it with, you know, from Palantir's viewpoint, that just because you have a bad quarter or a bad few quarters, it doesn't break the thesis. It doesn't mean you're a bad company. And it doesn't mean that you have to sell. So if they would continue and the growth would not reaccelerate and they keep on adding the new customers and they have 80 to 100% growth in new customer count, and the revenue stays flat, that would completely break the thesis for me, because that would mean that their product is not sticky, they're not upselling the customers, and then I would get out. But this quarter was not enough, and if the stock hits the price targets that I showed you below, I'm going to be a buyer. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one, and hopefully I will be 100% well by that time. All right, ciao, ciao.